Hello everybody, Brad Johnson here. In this video we're going to be talking about something very important. And the topic of this video is integration, the balance between attachment and detachment. And so, looking into this topic, this is something that has been a very big realization with me over the last little while, and I'm finally getting time now to bring this out in video form. So what am I talking about relating to integration, the balance between attachment and detachment? Well, to answer that question, we're firstly just going to look at the two-column example here. Now, in this column, we're going to have what's known as the materialists. Okay? The materialists are all about people that favor material reality. They're all about wanting attachments, wanting material things, can often be quite greedy in that sense. They just want the material world. They want to take the material world and put it right in their pocket. So this is the materialist column. We have the second column here with the letter D, and this represents the detachers. We can see it almost as ascetics, for example, that leave society, that completely get out of the modern world and want to retreat. They will often go into caves and they will meditate there for most of their life. And they are all about the spiritual essence of life. They are not interested in the material body. They are not interested in the body at all. And they are not interested in the mind. The only thing they are seeking is enlightenment. So we're going to look into these two extremes and get an idea about what they both represent. So one idea here could be the example of money. Okay? And the materialists will look at that and say, oh, yes, I need money, got to have money. Money is what makes the world go around. So yes, we got to have money, right? So they're all about wanting money. Then when money comes to the idea of the detachers, no, we don't want money, don't need money at all. Money is a man-made possession. It is a man-made system, and I want to have nothing to do with it. The earth will provide everything that I need, and I will sustain myself with my natural prana, and I will become a breatharian, and I will have nothing to do with money whatsoever. I want nothing to do with it. Okay? So there's the two extremes through the example of money. Well, what about the idea of family and friends? That'll be the next subject. Family and friends. Oh yeah, you got to have your family. Family is super duper important. You got to have friends. You got to have your circle of friends. You got to have your people that support you, that encourage you, that kind of give you ideas and advice. Family and friends, yeah, definitely. You got to have it. Then we look at family and friends from the detachers. Well, no, not really. Not really interested in family and friends. I've been able to let them all go. I've let go of my family so that I could retreat and be inside this cave and meditate for many years. I've let go of the idea of friends. I've detached myself from them. And so I do not require the idea of family or friends. All I need is myself. And here I am in my cave meditating on enlightenment. So therefore, they do not want any form of family or friends whatsoever. But what about a partner or love? What about that? How would they respond to that? A partner and a love. For the materialist, oh yeah, got to have a partner, got to have that love. Maybe it's not love, maybe it's the idea of attachment, or it's the idea of a possession, whatever it may be, right? Maybe I just lust over a partner or anything, but yeah, I got to have a partner. I got to have a husband, I got to have a wife, right? Got to have kids, got to get married, Got to buy the big house, got to get the big car, retire when we're 65, right? So yeah, of course, definitely need that. That's part of the big dream, okay? And then if we look over here, no, of course not. Don't need a partner. I am celibate. I don't require a partner whatsoever. I'm not going to get involved with sexuality. I'm not going to get involved with sexual affairs. I do not require a partner whatsoever. That's going to be too much trouble, and that's only going to lead to pain and suffering. Therefore, I do not want a partner at all. I am in my cave. I am meditating until I am enlightened. I am going all the way into the spiritual kingdoms. I'm going into God. I'm going into the self. Okay? So, just using these 3 examples, do we now get the idea that neither of them are the right path? This is the idea. These are 2 extremes. When we look into the idea of the materialists, they are all about the body and the mind. I have a body, I have a mind, and I'm going to indulge, I'm going to attach, I'm going to possess, I'm going to get obsessed, I'm going to drink. My mind's going to be on work, my mind's going to be on money, my mind's going to be on family and friends, etc., right? It becomes very indulgent with the idea of the body and the mind. Whereas when it comes over here, the body and the mind want to completely denounce it, right? So this one basically wants to embellish it. This one wants to completely denounce it, right? I am not the body. I am not the mind. I don't want the body to even touch me. I don't want the mind to even touch me. I don't want a single thought in my mind. I want to be completely blank. I want to have that blank canvas so that I can be one with the self. Okay? Again, these are 2 extremes. Neither of these are in balance at all. They're completely extremes. They're 2 sides of the one coin. So, when I first started this path, I was moving much more into this direction a lot more. But prior to this path, I was mainly in this direction, right? I believed that God existed, but I didn't want to represent God through any type of religion whatsoever. And so therefore I put all of that idea of religious nonsense aside and almost lived, I wouldn't say quite an atheist life, but pretty close to it. And I was very much highly logical, not very emotional. I wanted all 3 of these things, absolutely, and more, of course. And of course, it wasn't until 2008, when I was age 29, where I had my breakthrough, where I had my powerful spiritual awakening, and the years to follow led me more down this type of path, right? Moving much more into the idea of being a detacher, of detaching myself a lot more from the ways of the earth, the ways of the human being in that way, and getting much more into the idea of I am not the body, I am not the mind, right? That non-duality in that sense. And non-duality is very, very true, right? It's a very true way because that's how it is. But unfortunately, a lot of people put a lot of restrictions upon both of these paths, right? And this is why neither of them are the correct path, right? The correct path exists right here. It's in the middle. It's in between the materialist and the detacher. It is between the materialist and the ascetic, right? It's kind of like how Buddha was able to find the middle path between self-indulgence and self-mortification. Well, in this way, we're finding the middle path, which represents integration. So, you are not going to move into a state of harmony by indulging yourself with attachments in life, nor are you going to bring yourself into harmony by only focusing on spirit, rather than, in that sense, realizing that you do have a body and a mind. Okay? It's true, we are not the body, we are not the mind, but still we do have a body and we have a mind. Okay? And what a lot of the ascetics don't realize is that the body and the mind is designed to function as a life interface. The body exists as a gauge. It's telling you about how your body is, about how it functions. This is the vehicle that you are utilizing to access this type of life, to access this type of physical dimension, and to exist here. And therefore, from the materialist standpoint, they basically want to abuse the body. They want to indulge, they want to get liquor, they want to get alcohol, they want to use drugs, they want to drink lots of caffeine, right? And it just goes on and on and on. They want to indulge, indulge, indulge. Whereas the detacher or the ascetic doesn't want anything to do with the body at all. Doesn't care if the body just rots away. Will not tend to it, will not listen to it, will not do anything of the sort. So basically they go into a state of self-mortification. So this one goes into self-indulgence, this one goes into self-mortification. Neither of them are correct, right? It's not the balance. We certainly have the options to walk these paths, but that's not what's going to bring you into the balance, the harmony of your being, okay? Same thing goes with the mind. We just want to use the mind to be overly logical. We don't want to work with imagination. We don't want to work with intuition. We don't want to work with the higher consciousness. We just want to work with intellectualism. We just want to work together with practicality and so forth. And that's the materialistic standpoint. Then we get over here. They want to throw away everything pertaining to practicality, everything pertaining to the intellect, right? The intellect is basically evil. And so therefore they want to throw that away, and it's all about just going to God, not even concerning about the mind, just tossing it aside, keeping it blank so that I can go to God, okay? That's great. We do want to go to God. We do want to go into bliss. We do want to move into pure divinity. But again, if we do not integrate all of these things, the body, the mind, and the soul, you're missing out, right? So the materialist does not bond with intuition and the spirit and the soul, okay? Whereas the detacher or the ascetic doesn't want to bond with the body, the mind, physicality whatsoever. Do you see how these are, again, two sides of the same coin? They're extremes. So it is not about being in a state of detachment. Detachment is not going to bring you liberation. People who have basically severely detached themselves, you will see that their body is just completely mortified. They are going through untold amounts of physical suffering. They are going through untold amounts of mental suffering because they want to just go to God. They don't care about the body. They don't care about the mind. They don't care about anything that represents impermanence. And they want to just go straight to God. They want to go straight to enlightenment. They want to go straight to the self, and that's it. Okay? Again, yes, we definitely do want to bring spirit. We definitely do want to bring the divinity. We want to bring our highest states of bliss into this life. But we do not exclude the body and the mind. Okay? Yes, we are not the body. Yes, we are not the mind, but we have a body and we have a mind, and we want to put it to good use. We put it to good use because we understand that the body and the mind are supporters. They're servants, right? The wrong thing is to believe that the body and the mind is higher up than you. That's wrong thinking. That's attachment, okay? So attachment is not correct. Detachment is not correct, okay? Both of them are incorrect because they're both extremes. But we look at how the body and the mind are support systems. They're supporters. That's what we're doing here, is we're looking at the body being a gauge, being an interface for us, to helping us work together with a sound body, because when we go up into these higher states of consciousness, when we go up into these higher bliss states, we want to bring all of that pure bliss into the body. We want to integrate it. When we have those pure high states of bliss, we want to bring that into the mind. We want to integrate it. When we basically go all the way up and move up into the highest heaven and move up past the mind and go right to God and just are completely in tears with bliss and joy and happiness, we will then come back down. This is what happens. This is what happens in Kundalini awakening. When you awaken everything right up to the Sahasrara, you have Kundalini right up at the crown, at the 1,000-petal lotus, and then at some point shortly afterwards, the Kundalini drops back down into the Muladhara or the root chakra. So the Kundalini doesn't last. It goes up and then it comes back down again. Okay? This is the example of what Kundalini awakening is trying to tell us. I will bring you all the way up to God, and you will be refined with divine realization, with divine bliss. You will have all of this knowledge. You will have all of this awareness pertaining to how things actually are. And then we will drop you back down again. Now you're going to come back into the body. Now you're going to come back into the mind. And even certain yogis have kind of scratched their heads wondering, why has this happened? We're still not too sure why that happens, why it brings you all the way up into the highest heaven, all the way up to God, and then brings you back down again. We don't get it. We're not too sure why. Well, here's the reason. You have to integrate. That's the reason. Okay? You do not exclude the body and the mind. You integrate with them, which means you bring the body into balance. You bring the mind into balance, and they are now one. So what's happening here is a union. After all, that's what yoga represents. It's the nature of union, to where the body, the mind, the soul, and the spirit are now completely integrated together. So you are now bringing a brighter light when you come back down. You go all the way up, you have your Kundalini awakening, you have your incredible epiphanies, you have your blissful states of being, you go into beingness, and you feel this sweet surrender. We want that. That is 100% important. There's no doubt about that. We want that, right? But then we're going to go back down, just like the Kundalini does. Kundalini goes all the way up. We are able to activate Sahasrara. We open up the 1,000-petal lotus, and we go into Nirvikalpa Samadhi. It's exactly what happened to me. I was just, again, in complete and total bliss, complete and total happiness. I just felt like I couldn't even move. It was so powerful. It was so incredibly blissful. One of the most beautiful moments of my entire life. Okay? But we come back down. And we come back down because Spirit is telling you, you have to integrate the body and the mind. Don't discard it and don't overindulge it. Right? You don't overindulge it. You don't take advantage of it. You don't start abusing it. And you're just abusing it another way. If you're discarding it, you're abusing it. If you're indulging in it, you're abusing it. They're both forms of bodily and mental abuse. And again, whenever we look at the mind, whenever we're looking at a lot of these meditators, these practitioners in that sense, they feel that they're trying to clear away all of their disturbed thoughts with prayer, with mantra, with meditation. Not the way. Okay? Really, when we look into the idea of harmonizing the mind, it all comes down to three things. Awareness, surrender, and release. This is how we harmonize the mind. We also harmonize the body together with this as well too. This is the formula. I'm aware that I have this condition. I surrender to this. I'm no longer going to fight it. I'm not going to resist it. I'm dropping the bags. And now I'm going to release it, which means I'm going to open up those bags. I'm going to fling the lid open and just let everything in those bags just be blown away with the wind. That's the idea. That's how we liberate both the body and the mind. Our awareness works together to realize that we have something here that needs our attention. are surrendering to it. We are not trying to oppose it. We're not trying to fight. We're not trying to go into the story of it. And then we go into release. We open up the bags and we just let all of that stuff fly to the wind, right? We let spirit take care of it, okay? But we are not in any way attempting to avoid any of this, okay? When you're here, because this is the integrated self right here. When you are the integrated self, well, let's put it in this way. When I'm a materialist, I have a certain spectrum I can play with, the material spectrum. When I am a detacher, I have a certain spectrum I can play with on a spiritual level. When I am the integrator, I have the spectrum of the material, I have the spectrum of the spiritual, and I put them together. The integrator is the most powerful between these two, right? You have now the entire spectrum, the entire rainbow of being able to work with both the material world and the spiritual world together as one. And that's the most powerful thing. Again, it just kind of amuses me that I see some of these books with some of these yogis and they just can't figure out, why do we go all the way up here? Why do we come back down? No yogi has been able to really figure that out, because you have to integrate the body and the mind. The body and the mind need to be integrated with your spiritual heightening, with your spiritual awareness. It's like being given a gigantic torch. We have this huge torch here, and we go all the way up to Sahasrara, and we've lit the torch now. Torch has been lit, saying, okay, hold it in your hand and bring it back down with you. Now you got this incredible, powerful spiritual torch. And you look into it and all the knowledge of God is within it. Everything that represents the infinite nature of God resides within that torch as an analogy. And now here we are with our body and with our mind that is kept in the dark. But they have this little rope attached both to the body and the mind, and we now have the torch to light that rope so the body can be filled with light, so that the mind can be filled with light. But we don't see that. I don't want anything to do with the body. Shh, and I'm trying to stomp out this torch. Okay, materialist. I don't want to have anything to do with any spiritual stuff. Right? And they both try to stomp it out. So I don't want to have anything to do with the body and the mind. I just want to go into enlightenment. I just want to be with spirit. I just want to completely absorb myself back into the self. Okay, if that's your decision, so be it. Right? Materialist, yeah, I just want to indulge and play around with this and get material possessions and so on and so forth. Okay, well, if that's your choice, so be it. But that is not fulfilling yourself. You are fulfilling yourself by having a body and mind that is now being lit up by this powerful spiritual torch. And now you come back onto this plane as a realized human being, an integrated being. And that's the most powerful, which means when I look at money, I can either use money or I can not. I can completely do without it, which means I have options. It's no longer the idea of saying, oh yeah, I have to have money. Oh no, don't have money, it's evil, etc., etc. No, I can now work together through my own decision of deciding whether I use money or not. I have the ability to do that because I'm playing with the entire spectrum. So there will be times where I will decide to go ahead and use money. And I will use it to a great benefit. I will use it in complement to myself. There may be times where I don't need money at all, and other things are now available which I can use. And that too is in complement to myself, right? Same thing with family and friends. Oh yeah, I gotta have family and friends. Nope, completely withdrew myself from family and friends, completely detached from them, etc. The integrator looks at that and saying, yes, there will be times where I will be with family and friends and I will enjoy the entire experience with them because I am an integrated soul and I can make the decision about having connections with family and friends because it's all part of complement. It complements me because I've gone all the way up and I can come back down. I can now work together with the material plane while I'm still walking the spiritual plane at the same time. So, when it comes to money, yes, I can decide to use it or not. Whatever serves me through complement, right? We don't have a need for money. Do we have a need for it? No. Can we use it? Sure thing, right? Because it's all about complement, right? I can basically be in a restaurant surrounded by several other people, family and friends, and then just get out my wallet and saying, this really serves me to pay for this dinner with my family and my friends because it's a wonderful complement to a wonderful evening. There you go. And there's no attachment to it whatsoever. None of it had really any meaning. It was just a wonderful thing to do in the moment where I decided to pay for dinner because I had a wonderful time with my friends and my family. And I wanted to conclude that night with a great compliment of paying the bill for everybody. Wonderful. That's divine. Okay? It's not about the idea, oh my God, bills. No, I'm not paying with bills. I don't work with money. Here, I have some cocoa leaves I can pay for. I got some mint in my pocket. Right? It's not about the idea of restrictions anymore. We throw restrictions away. We throw away the material restrictions. We throw away the spiritual restrictions. All of it goes out the window. A partner, love, okay? The intellect, the materialist, yeah, you gotta have partner, gotta have marriage, gotta have kids, gotta have a house, gotta retire at 65 with family, etc., etc. The detacher, nope, be celibate. Just be celibate, right? Be in chastity, have absolutely no partner whatsoever, etc., etc. The integrator, well, I have no need for a partner, but I'm happy to have a relationship because it is in complement to myself. So I can either have a partner or I don't have to have one. Okay, I'm playing with the spectrum. I could have a partner, and I know it will be a wonderful experience because it's a complement to my happiness, which is fully established within here. I do not see outside things that is going to bring me happiness. Everything in regards to my happiness, because I've gone all the way up and I've come all the way back down, I've established my happiness inside here. The source of my happiness will always be the true nature of how I will be joyful and how I will be blissful, and it's inside. I live inside that happiness. Therefore, if a relationship comes along and there's a wonderful partner who I feel very connected with, and we decide to form a relationship, a romantic relationship, I welcome it. Because again, it's not that I need the relationship, but I enjoy the love that is between us that serves together in the state of complement. Or I can decide not to have a partner at all. You see how you're working together as an integrator and you're working with both sides? It's not about one or the other anymore. It's union, right? You're taking the lower and you're bringing the higher together, and they are unifying. They are integrating. They are amalgamating. They are merging. They are transforming. This is the true path. This is the middle path. The middle path represents integration. So here you are, the big capital I, the integrator. This is the path to live. We have a body and we have a mind, even though we're not the body and we're not the mind, we are permanence, we are infinite. Yes, that's true. It's all true, right? This is why I say non-duality is very correct. But here we are in physical reality where we are using a body and where we are using a mind. We're using the body, we're using the mind, and like I said, they are of course below us. We're at the very top. We're sitting at the top of the throne. We are the king, we are the queen, we are the sovereign. But still we have a body and mind, and they are all part of support systems. It's helping us to realize, again, how we're treating the body. What type of thoughts, what type of sensations, what type of emotions are being broadcast to ourselves to which our reality is trying to teach us, right? So the body and the mind, even though impermanent, have a role to play. So we're making sure that our body is sound so we can continue to function in this life, so that we can go through everything that we need to go through to make sure that we're integrating harmoniously the body and integrating harmoniously the mind. The body is letting us know what type of food are we eating, what kind of stress levels are we going through with the body right now. Are we sick? Are we ill? Right? It's the gauge that's constantly keeping up with us, telling us exactly how we're working with this vessel that's helping us to work together with this type of physical life. Same thing with the mind, the type of people that you're bringing in, the people, the places, the events, and the things that are taking place in your reality. The mind is helping you to understand that it too is a gauge. It too is a reflective mirror, telling you about these things that you're holding on to, so that you can therefore realize you're holding on to these things. Then we go inside, then we clean everything up. We go into awareness, into surrender, into release. And it's the mind that's helping us to realize exactly everything that's false within our life, everything that's not true to ourselves. The body is helping out with that too. So this is why we're not discarding the body and the mind. We're not abusing the body and the mind with indulgences, and we're not abusing it with, again, the idea of mortification. Okay? It's about the middle path. It's about the balance. So as you live together as an integrated soul, you have gone all the way up, and this is my story, right? I've gone all the way up, and then I've come all the way back down. And like I said, for quite some time, I've been walking a lot with this path, and I felt like I was putting a lot of restrictions upon myself as well too, thinking, Brad, I think you need to be celibate. Brad, I don't think you can have relationships anymore. Brad, I don't think you're looking to move into any kind of earthly matters anymore. You got to discard those. Right? Brad, I think you might have to get off money pretty soon. Right? These are the kind of things that I was putting upon myself. Whereas you look at it through the integrator and saying, I can certainly do these things, or I do not have to do these things. But what is bringing about the true freedom of happiness is the realization that you have the entire spectrum at your availability, at your disposal. That's what brings about the true happiness. Whether I decide to be with a partner or not, right, is again the happiness. Where I feel, oh, no, don't. Oh, yeah, you have to. Okay? These are the things that obstruct true happiness of what you feel inside. That's kind of like a barrier that comes in between the true source of happiness and yourself. And as soon as we erect those particular types of restrictions, we create more barriers on top of one another. This perfectly represents the nature of the West and the East, right? The East and the West. The idea of the East is being a lot more spiritual minded, and the idea of the West is being a lot more material minded. Okay? So it's like looking at the two hemispheres of the brain. We have to, again, completely rewire it so that they integrate together in center, to go into the middle. And that middle path is the path of the integrator. Thank you so much for watching this video. I'm sure I'll be doing some more topics in regards to this discussion, or more videos, I should say, regarding this discussion, because it is a very, very big topic. So look for some more future videos where I'll be adding on to this subject matter for sure. Thank you so much for watching. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Namaskar. May it be well with you. Thank you very much for checking out the New Earth Teachings YouTube channel. Feel free to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And you can check out the websites, newearthteachings.com, where you can order a private session, 3 questions by email, EQ method, and a lot more. And you can also check out healingcodecards.com, where you can grab your mind deck, your body deck, and of course the brand new body deck special edition. All of these are available in digital editions as well. And you can also get a shirt just like this through healingcodeshop.com, where you can experience the healing codes in apparel form. So feel free to check out these websites. Thank you so much, and I'll speak to you again in the next video. Be well.